This is a really interesting and quite an exciting time for people with cystic fibrosis and their families, and they're thinking about the different mutation-specific therapies and all those potential exciting advances that have been being made. But really, we have to say that people with cystic fibrosis have enjoyed better health steadily over the years. Year on year, there's been an improvement in the health that people with cystic fibrosis have enjoyed. And that relates to really quite basic treatments and new treatments that have come through, like Dornase alpha, new antibiotics, nebulized antibiotics, new physiotherapy techniques. So all those fairly basic things have really helped people with cystic fibrosis enjoy much better health, much better quality of life, and obviously survival. But there are still many things in the world of cystic fibrosis where we're not sure whether one treatment strategy is better than another treatment strategy. So it's difficult to compare, should we do this or should we do this? And that sort of comparative research is actually quite difficult to do in the country. It's difficult to do because it's difficult to get funded, it's quite expensive. It's also difficult to do because it's quite burdensome for people with cystic fibrosis. So when the CF Trust did work with young people and adults with cystic fibrosis to try and find out how they could be involved in research, the young people said, we want to be involved in research, but it's really difficult coming to the hospital for all these extra visits. So what we've been looking at is employing the registries to do that. The way the registry will work to support research is that the registry, if the data are put onto the registry in an accurate way by the CF teams, then we can use the data that we collect on the registry to look at outcomes, to look at how people with cystic fibrosis are doing with regard to a large number of outcomes, like what bacteria they're growing, what respiratory function they have, how their liver is, whether they develop a complication like CF-related diabetes. All those things we can look at in the registry, and we can look at them over long periods of time as well. When we're doing research, the trials we do tend to be quite short studies over months rather than years, and the registry gives us the ability to do those studies in an affordable way over much longer periods of time without impacting on the lives of families. So families and people with cystic fibrosis may hardly know they're in a research trial at all, because actually the data is being collected as a part of their day-to-day management. Well, how is the registry involving people with cystic fibrosis in research is really exciting. That's a really key question, because whenever we talk to people with cystic fibrosis, the enthusiasm that they have to be involved in research is tremendous. But actually the practicalities of doing it is quite hard for families, extra clinic visits and so forth. What we're looking at is really making the registry connect to the people with cystic fibrosis. So initially they'll be able to look at what data they have on the registry, and then eventually in the future maybe have a portal where they can put data in themselves, on themselves, to record of how well they're doing. So these are things that are not available at the moment, but are in development, and the registry team are looking at making that connectivity with people with cystic fibrosis. So I think it's a really exciting team, both for researchers like myself in the field, but also for people with CF.
My name is Kira Hillier. I'm a 23-year-old cystic fibrosis patient, and one of the complications of having CF is cystic fibrosis-related diabetes. Having CF means I have to have regular meals and snacks throughout the day, but because of my diabetes,